What's up guys, Dustin back with another video, and of course this video is talking about my college journey. The very short college journey that I had, but you can tell from this title of this video that I did drop out of college. And for the reasons I dropped out was simply, even though it literally only cost me out of pocket $10, and yes, 2014 only paying $10 for college, and that's including everything. I have no loans from going to college for basically one semester, not even. It was only out of pocket for $10, and I'm not going to go to details of how that is possible, but for my circumstances, that was. So even though it was only $10 out of pocket, even though I technically picked accounting, even though as you saw, I didn't want to do accounting, why did I go? Why did I bother? Or why did I even drop out if it was only $10? Why would I do that? Well, short answer is, as you can see on the board, I never wanted to go to college. College was never a goal of mine. It wasn't never a dream of mine. I never looked into going to college, even in high school, looking at different colleges and looking at the cost. Even if there was projects where they would literally force us to, in random classes, pick your top colleges and get all the information, how much it's going to cost every semester and every year and stuff, like what are your top 3 picks. I never did those projects. I never took part of that. I would literally maybe just find the first 3 random colleges and just write some information, but I would never actually look and investigate different colleges, and that just was never my plan. That was never my thinking process when I was in school. And yes, if in case you're wondering, yes, I am drinking coffee, by the way. I just realized I'm not wearing matching socks. Cool, I have a black sock on and a white sock on. That's typical during this quarantine. The real reason why I actually went, now I told you guys I never wanted to go to college, but the reason why I went was because of wanting to please other people. And I think this is a big lesson in life, that sometimes you have to do things you don't want to do. But in this case, I didn't have to go to college. You know, I have to work a job. I know that. You have to pay your bills, right? There are things you have to do. You have to sacrifice for things that you have to do momentarily, but you can always change your situation, and so that way the things you don't want to do, eventually you don't have to. But ultimately, I went to college to please other people, and I wanted to please my fiance, we just started dating around that time. Like, we're about a year into our relationship at the time. Now we're engaged, so on that end, I wanted to please her. And I guess somehow I wanted to please my family, but not really. I think it was more I wanted to please my fiance. So, but I know my dad really wanted me to go to college. And I just, like I said, I never wanted to go to college. It was never a goal of mine. And I learned from a teacher. Well, I mean, I knew I didn't want to go to college. And in high school, I was told by a teacher, like the whole class was, that, hey guys, if you guys don't go to college, that's fine, because college isn't for everybody. And that always stuck with me, because I knew I was that person. College isn't for me. So the reason why college is not for me, I don't want a normal career. Like, yeah, I know I have to work right now, but I don't want to put all this time and money and energy into a career field that I know that long term I don't want to be in. I knew that I wasn't going to want like a standard office job or like an accountant job, even though I went for accounting, because it was literally one of those options that a counselor that was talking to me about going to college, like he said, oh, well, you know, accounting, you know, pays really good money. So I was like, fine, whatever. Like, I knew I didn't want to go to college. I knew I wasn't actually going to go through with it completely. Like, I knew eventually at some point I would just stop going. I knew in the back of my mind that would happen. So I picked accounting, guys. I picked accounting. They were like, oh, you can make like $80,000 a year. But I knew like the workload not really researching too much, but I knew that, like, you know, come tax time, like, you're working nonstop. And I just knew I didn't want to work in that profession. So I just knew that a normal career, going to college, that whole thing, that this wasn't going to be my lifestyle someday. Like, I didn't want to fall back on that and just have that be my life, because I knew I would be miserable. Even if I made, like, good money from a career, I just knew that it wouldn't be what I wanted out in life. So ultimately, that's why I did drop out. That's why I didn't want to go in the first place. And then when I actually did go, it felt just exactly the same as high school. It didn't change that much. It just, to me, didn't seem that much different than going to high school. It was in the random classroom, some teacher talking about random things that no one cares about. There was like a lot of that, and I just did not care for college because it just felt like the same thing as high school. So for me, it just didn't seem any different, and I just finally got out of high school at that point. I was just finally out of schooling and just go right back into something that's just like high school. It wasn't for me, like I said. Like, I just didn't like the environment. I just didn't like sitting in a classroom learning about stuff I didn't care about. Just, you know, typical like people who don't like school kind of thing. Like, this was never my cup of tea. So I did stop going to college 2 weeks before the first semester ended. My first semester, I stopped doing everything 2 weeks before it was over. And actually, one teacher actually gave me extensions to do my final paper in English class, and I just didn't do it. And like, I had tests and stuff, and I just didn't care to go. I just stopped showing up, and I just didn't care. Like, it simply just, I tried, I pushed myself a little bit in the beginning, and quickly I just didn't care enough. So I originally wanted to please everybody else, and I wasn't pleasing myself. So I stopped going. And I think if you're a person who's struggling out there right now, maybe you're going to be graduating, or you just graduated the past couple of years and you're thinking about going to college and you really don't want to go, my best piece of advice to give you guys is that if you want to go, or if you want to go to college and you want to really go, and you really, really want to go, and you're not just being forced and pushed to go because someone else wants you to go, but if you deep down know exactly what you want to do, I guess go for it. You know, the repercussions is you're going to be in debt if you don't pay it all in cash, if you don't have the money to pay for schooling. If you have the money for schooling, like if your parents have the money and they're paying for everything, or if you even have all the money and you want to go, then do it, definitely. But if you're going to like put yourself in debt for it, but you're not really sure what you want to do yet, I would just wait off. I would just work, make money. Like, just work a normal job for now, because more than likely when you get out of college, it's going to be hard to get the kind of job you think you're going to get, or if you do, it's not going to be what you think. From experiences of people that I know close to me, they're all feeling the same effect of what I kind of thought beforehand. Like, I know it's not going to be all that great after college, because you're sold this like bill of goods of like, oh, you're going to go get this degree, and then you're going to get this great job, and then you're going to be able to pay all your bills and have extra money, and you're going to have a great life. But it turns out that everyone who goes, not everybody, but a lot of people who go through college, they don't get that kind of life that they think they're going to get. And there's people out there who actually went to college and got a job they love, and the only way they can get is going to college. And then good for you. If you're that kind of person that wants to go to college for a specific kind of job, and you can only get that job going to school, then do it. But if you're not sure, don't waste the money. If you can get free schooling or close to it, then go. But if you're going to put yourself in a lot of debt and you're not really sure what you want out of life, definitely hold off. You can always go to school another time, or you can always learn something along the way. You can always learn a skill. You can go learn a trade. You can go just work regular jobs. And don't force yourself to go right away. I think there's nothing wrong with taking a couple years off after high school, because I feel like people are always like, well, if you don't go to college right after you go to high school, you're going to learn everything you learned. I'm sorry, everybody. I graduated high school in 2014. I'm not really sure what I learned that year, like as a senior. I didn't learn anything. We didn't do anything. I guess people who are older think that we're learning so much in school, and I hate to break it to you, but we're not learning that much. And it seems like even now, like everything that we've learned is changing to what people are learning now. Like, everything's so different, but like we're not learning the same methods. And it's just like every year they have to make new books of new content, and just to change things around to make different, like math changed a bunch since we've been I was in high school. And I just feel like everyone's just trying to keep the school system going by changing things here and there. But ultimately, we're not really learning much in school these days, and I feel like people don't understand that. That's why I don't care for college, because it felt just like high school. I felt like I wasn't really learning anything important. And I just, as a person who went through the school system, I just didn't care for it. Like I said, if, you have to pick and choose. I think a big thing in life is that you can't have other people decide for you. You're your own individual person. And I know in society we're having a lot of issues with people, having the freedom to kind of pick their own destiny and like do their own things, because everyone's always giving their opinion on what you should and shouldn't do. And parents feel like they have like ownership over their kids, even if they're past the age of 18 and above. Like, you don't have any say anymore at that point. Like, you really don't. Like, if someone doesn't want to go do something, you can't force them to do it. Like, you can't make people go to college if they don't want to. And if you really truly don't want to go to college, don't do it. Do something else. And then if you want to go later, there's no shame in that. Now, I personally will never go to college. I already know that. I have no interest. But if you have a little bit of interest, but you're not quite sure, just wait it off. Take a year or two off. Work, make some money, save up some money, really try to save as much money as you can, and then maybe go back. But don't be rushed, don't be fooled, don't be harassed by people telling you what to do. I'm just kind of ranting now because I think it's a big problem in this world, in this country, that people think that the only way to make it in life is by going to college. And that's been disproven by so many people on the internet and so many people in life that you meet that are having great lives without going to college. And there's a lot of people who went to college who are having terrible lives. So getting a college degree doesn't mean as much as it used to. Maybe it did back in the day, but definitely in 2020, it definitely does not. And if you disagree with that, you can disagree with that. If you agree with that, you can agree with that. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. It's definitely a polarizing kind of topic, but I just want to get that off my chest because I've been making all these videos about me working at jobs, and I have more work stories coming up, and I have other things about talking about jobs and why I don't like jobs. And I made a video last year about that. But I'm going to have more videos more content about this topic because it's just close to my heart about people thinking that there's only one way to success in life, and that's college and working regular jobs. And that simply is not the truth. And this YouTube channel is going to show my journey of being successful without regular jobs being my main source of income and without a college degree. So I can prove to everyone that says you can only go to college to be successful. So I can call out that bullshit. And if you went to college again and had success, good for you. That's not the only way in 2020 you could be successful. Thank you for watching this video, guys. I'm Dustin. I'll see you in the next one.